Check out this structure. We're up here looking for signs of Bigfoot evidence and come across a structure looking thing. And as you can tell, those did not grow there. And look at this, got folded, that got folded over into it. Folded over. Well, that one's been torn up and relocated. Maybe this one's going to be added to that structure we found.
Yeah, where the hell did that come from?
Yep, it didn't grow there. It must have got up and walked here. I'm just wondering where it got the feet. Coming up on what may be a structure back here on top of the east side of the Uinta Mountains. We're up about 10,000 feet, as high as you can get on this side. Well, here looks like a start, the beginning of one. But this one has several giant logs in it. Now this one's ginormous. And what's the coincidence of all of these coming together up like that?
Well, being that I've seen a ton of these, clearly these were Montana Bigfoot on vacation down here. Because this is the size they built up there. It is a structure, it's old.
I can't really tell if this one's relocated, but it has a crook, a fork up in it. This one's relocated. It didn't grow there. That one's looks like a relocation. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all that come together up there. Don't know if Bigfoot does this, but a lot of people think they may, so when I see them in a Bigfoot sighting location, I document them for people. The elk stay where it's cool. They generally follow the snow line all year round if they can. And there's less bugs, it's cooler, and there was a study done in Colorado where they pointed out that the Bigfoot sightings are more often at the same elevations the same time of year where the elk herds are.
Yeah,
so it suggests they like what the elk like, or they like the elk, or they like both. And the moose has the ability to eat the stick branches of the trees, the bark, and they also eat pine needles. Yep. Could you imagine if a Bigfoot has a similar stomach where it can eat pine needles? I mean, that means it doesn't run out of food any time of year. The pine needles are always here unless they've been eaten. I'm not going to call it an X structure, but there's a...
Don't call it an X.
But there's an X.
Well, are they joined together? Are they leaning together?
I guess we can investigate. Seen some structures today, and now we're looking for tracks. And look at this substrate.
Perfect for finding if there's anybody walking around here.
It's still pretty hard, but we are finding tracks of hoofed animals. So there's a chance if a Bigfoot's been in the area, it might have left one too. Overcast, late in the day. Animals love this. We've seen a lot of deer. About 30 minutes ago we saw 2 bucks. They were both 2 points. Hanging out, moving around. All the animals are active because it's nice and cool and late in the day. Hopefully Bigfoot is too. This is a forest of lodgepole on this side. And these look like, yep, they are. I see a pine cone. These are pinyon pines, which the pine cones produce those edible pine nuts that are so yummy. I know the bears will eat the whole cone and everything. I mean, the bear can eat the pine cone and all, can Bigfoot? Is that what those big old jaw muscles and the muscle cone head on its head is for? Chewing pine cones, acorns. I like it when 2 different types of forests converge like this. And then there's a fine definition. You guys can see it through the lodge poles over to the pinyons. And there's a little bit of aspen mixed in with those pinyons. Those pinyons are certain food, certain times of the year. Late summer, fall, and winter. Yeah, it's no wonder there's so many sightings in this area. Yeah, both sides of the canyon, and there's a lot of winter sightings here on both sides of the canyon that we're on. The lower one in Dry Fork, and then the upper one around Red Cloud. And I have a hunch the Bigfoot don't live on the roads that they're being spotted by. They're living back in here and getting spotted once in a while when they go out to the fringes of this amazing forest. Yeah, I talked Duke Sullivan from World Bigfoot Central into coming out here from Missoula, Montana to look around some of our Bigfoot sighting hotspot areas. And he has spotted 2 structures today. He's 2 and I'm 0.
Well, hopefully we'll have more than that.
I spotted a really nice one last night.
You got a great one yesterday. So.
The one yesterday was up by Marsh Peak. And you guys will have to watch our Marsh Peak Bigfoot expedition. We found some amazing stuff up there. That was a primitive forest.
Yeah, you got 1,000 images on that game card that we haven't even looked at.
We collected a SD card off of a game camera that's been up there for about 4 months and had over 1,200 images. So hopefully a small percentage of those is something cool. That many, I'll accept 1 to 5%.
Yeah. Well, you're gonna get a lot of cool animal pictures on there at least. So
it's in a spot where the sun and wind shouldn't trigger it. So I don't. But you know, insects in right conditions can set it off too. We'll find out.
Toes would be a.
That's Bigfoot shaped.
Left foot.
And that's within about 100 yards of that last structure that you found. You want to measure it?
I don't have a tape measure with me this time.
I've got one.
Okay. And yep, just found a track coming out. That teepee structure's over that way about 100 yards. The heel here. There's the outline of the foot.
The toes.
Smaller toes.
The toes are going beyond the 16 mark. It looks like 16 and a half inches in length.
Well, we're going to be conservative. We don't know how far up the hallux went. It might have gone this far, in which case it's a 17-inch track. But we could say for sure it's up to here. So it's at least a 16-inch track.
Yeah, it's at least 16. That's probably what it is.
Okay, and that's the wide spot of the foot. And we're looking at.
I see it wider up at the toes.
Yeah. Well, if you're up here where the toes are, yeah, it's more like 8.
We point out the big toe?
The hallux is right up here.
And then it goes off
toes.
that way.
Yeah.
This one looks like a juvenile just because of its width. It's not as wide as an adult, but it's close to 15 inches in length. It's like they hit a certain age and their foot gets wider. It gets longer first, and then wider last. And I think that's because it doesn't need to get wide until they start having some weight.
Yep.
So that one that Duke just measured and everything, it looks like there's 2 of them, and they're usually more than one. So that's probably a juvenile with an adult. So we found 2 different types. And this juvie is just like its parents. Its parents 16. It may stop at 16 and then get wider. Yeah, it'll probably get 2 to 3 inches wider after it gets to adulthood, just before adulthood. Is my guess.
These are old tracks and worn down, and there's not a lot of detail to prove for sure it's a track.
I really like how this one is really sharp on the edges.
The actual indentation of the heel's right here, and this is part of the strike. It was wet when he brought his foot down. They come down heel first, so his foot slid a little bit, and then the heel
both edges are really crisp on this one.
Both edges are really crisp, and it looks like a right foot, and the toes come up to about here, and this rock was in the way, so you don't see the rest of them.
And what side is this one, a left or a right?
This one looks like a right foot.
And the other one, the adult-sized one, that's only like 15 feet from here, that it must be traveling with, that one
so if we look
was
where
a
the
left
actual
foot.
heel strike ended up at, and you can feel it right there. That's at 13 inches. So yeah, this is a juvie that's traveling with either an older brother or an adult.
It looked like it scruffed and slid a little bit before it made the big strike.
Yep. I found a whole line of them going down a hill. Up in,
that's why I was measuring 15 at first, is because I was where its heel, sorry guys, where its heel like swiped before it made the big impact. I was counting that, but I agree with Duke.
You can feel it.
The actual weight of the strike is right there.
You can actually feel it when you put your finger in there. That's where the end of the.
So it swept a little bit before he bam.
So he's really. Yeah, he's a little guy. He's like 12, 13 inch foot. Which for a human is big, but that's a little Sasquatch.
This is a juvenile and it's traveling with that adult, and that adult has an 8-inch wide. Oh, what was the width on this one?
Yeah, I'll get it.
Thanks.
Sorry, I keep forgetting that.
The widest part up by the toes.
I'm looking at
5, I'm getting.
Yep, and that's about right. For the younger ones, the width across the front is not equal to the length. The older ones, the width across the front, you can pretty much just double it, and that's what the length will be. And the younger ones have a thinner foot.
Okay.
So this makes perfect sense, actually.
If we had not seen the adult one, I would have just passed this up. I wouldn't even really have pointed it out. But since we've seen the adult one, and it has the right dimensions for an adult, 16 long, 8 inches wide by the toes, it lends a little bit of credibility that it's got one of its youngsters with it.
And if we hadn't noticed as we were driving by that there's a suspiciously teepee looking structure on the other side of the road, we wouldn't have been over here walking around.
Yep. Well, the structure's what got us to look around this area.
And then we went, well, as long as it's stuff on this side of the road, let's go to the other side of the road, see what's over there.
I think Bigfoot has to cross a road at some time in its life to get what it needs to live. And I want to show an additional food source to everybody. The mushrooms are growing up here right now. We're getting what a lot of people in the valley call the summer monsoons that come up at nighttime and rain up here, and the mushrooms like it. Wonder if the Bigfoot likes the mushrooms too. I noticed that mushrooms on the mountaintops will follow the snow line too in the spring, all the way through the fall, right at the edge. Lots of mushrooms popping up. Maybe that's why Bigfoot's a ridge walker. Do you see any antlers? I thought I did at first, but I think it's just a herd of
does
and fawns and babies.
And that one baby's looking at us. What are those?
Where's your old man?
He run off, didn't he?
He'll be back after your mama kicks you to the curb.